Om Shanti. This is the Avyakt Murli of 8th of July 1973. The title is The Call of the Time. Where are all of you sitting? Are all of you sitting in the mela? This is a mela in a practical way, whereas the others are melas as a memorial. Many melas are celebrated in many different places with many different names because of this mela of the sweet meeting. A special meeting takes place in a mela. To have a mela means to have a meeting take place. Which mela does this meeting mean? At this time, the main mela taking place is of the soul meeting the Father. That is, the soul with the Supreme Soul, not just in one relationship, but in all relationships. To have a relationship with the Father in all relations means to have a mela where you have all attainments. By accelerating a meeting with the Father in all relationships in 1 second, you automatically have all attainments. Whereas in the other melas, you receive something by spending money. This mela is having all attainments, whereas in the other melas, if you have some attainment, that is only after giving something. However, what do you give here? You only give those things which you are not able to look after, do you not? Do you give anything good here? You only give to the Father the things which you are not able to look after. And through doing this, what did you make the Father? You made him into the server, did you not? You normally keep a servant to look after your own things. You only give the Father the things which you cannot control. Is there anything else which you have given to the Father? If you attain multi-millions after only giving rubbish, then would you call that giving or receiving? That would be called receiving, would it not? All the other melas are for giving, and so if you receive something after giving, then what is the big deal? However, this mela is for attaining all attainments. You can attain as much as you want of whatever you want. So have you seen any such mela where you have all attainments? You have all come to such a mela now. And one thing in a mela is a meeting. And what is the other thing? In other melas, you become dirty. Whereas what do you become here? You become clean. You have become clean, have you not? Or are you even now still becoming clean? What happens after the cleaning? You are decorated and a tilak is applied. Now you are applying the tilak of constant remembrance on yourself and decorating yourselves with the ornaments of the divine virtues. So here in this mela, you meet and you also celebrate. Together with this, there are also fun and games in a mela. A fair mela and games khela, khel, both take place together at the same time. If you constantly remember the two words, mela and khela, then what stage would you create? If your stage ever fluctuates, the reason is that you keep your intellect aside from the mela, that is, from the meeting. That is, you move away from the mela and do not consider it to be a khel, game. So you constantly remember the two words, mela and khel. Everything is included in a mela. You were told previously the things of which a meeting takes place. When you remember the word mela, it means harmony of sanskars, the meeting of the Father with the children, and the meeting of all attainments through having all relationships with the Father. All are included in this. The main thing is that this world is a play. However, the different tests and stages of Maya that come are also a game for you. If you consider it to be a game, you would never be distressed by the game. You would constantly be laughing. And so, even the tests are a game. Thirdly, when you consider it to be a game, a part, then it is the play of the players that you see with their various sanskars and is fixed in this unlimited game. When you have this awareness, your stage will never fluctuate. You will constantly have a constant stage. When you have the awareness that this is a variety part, within the variety drama, a play, then it is possible that there would not be a variety within the play. Since it is called the variety drama, in the limited theaters, they have different plays with different names. For instance, if something is called unnecessary bloodshed without cause, and you see any fearsome and painful scene, then would you be disturbed by it? You would understand that the entire play is of unnecessary bloodshed. You would have this awareness before you see it. In the same way, when there are stories of fighting, battling, or anger, then would you laugh or cry on seeing them? You would definitely laugh, would you not? Because you know that this is a game. In the same way, the name of this unlimited game is the variety drama or play. So would you ever be disturbed on seeing the variety of sanskars, the variety of natures, and the various situations? Or would you be detached observer and observe it and with a constant stage? So if you consider and remember it to be a variety play, then whatever effort you consider to be difficult to make would not be difficult, would it? When you forget these two words, the mela and the khela, you cause distress to yourself because you let go of the seat of remembrance, that is, the seat of being a detached observer. What would be the state of someone who watches a play after having let go of his seat? So having set yourself on the seat and having the awareness of the variety drama, if you observe every part of every actor, you would always remain cheerful. You would say, "Wah, wah," through your lips and say, "Wah, sweet drama." You would not say, "What happened? Why did this happen?" But instead, you would say, "Wah, wah." That is, you would constantly dance in happiness. You would constantly experience yourself to be a master almighty authority. Do you experience yourself to be this in a practical way? When you move away from the mela, you become distressed. And when you let go of the hand, then also you get distressed. In this way, you let go of the Father's hand. Do you understand the meaning of letting go of Father's hand? The Father does not have any physical hands. Srimad is the hand, and the yoga of the intellect is the company. So when you let go of the hand and the company in the mela, that is, when you move away from the Father, you get distressed. If you did not let go of the hand and the company, you would constantly remain in happiness. Therefore, now constantly look at your own part and the part of others while considering this to be a mela and a khela game. This is an easy and common matter. That is, it is an old matter. Have you made the old things constant? Or at the time of need, do you sometimes forget this and sometimes remember it? Are you told of this because if you constantly remember the two words, you would constantly remain in happiness and be the embodiment of power? Now the time is not for wasting in trivial matters or in the obstacles of ordinary thoughts. Now the time has come for you to become master creators and give blessings to your future subjects and bhagats through the power you have attained. Now is the time to give, not the time for the self to be taking. If at the time of giving you continue to take, then when would you give? In Satyug? Will there be a need for this there? So now is the time to make your creation overflowing. Now is not the time for wasting all the powers on the self or for experimenting with them on the self and thereby finishing them in this. That is, it is not the time to eat what you have earned. At first, it was the time to eat what you had earned. But what is the time for now? It is now the time to give to all souls what you have accumulated. Otherwise, your subjects and bhagats will be deprived of these attainments and they will remain as beggars. So as the children of the bestower and the bestower of blessings, will you yourselves not become the bestowers and the bestowers of blessings? When all souls come to you in the form of beggars to receive something, will the children of the merciful Father not have mercy for all souls? Will you not feel mercy for them, or will you be able to bear to see them distressed? In a lokic way also, a limited creator cannot bear to see his limited creation unhappy or distressed. So now you are also master creators. That is this the task of just the Father, or is it also yours? All of you are also master creators, and so a master creator cannot bear to see the sorrow of separation or the distress of his creation. At that time, he has to give them something. If you do not accumulate a stock from the present time, but you continue to eat and finish what you have earned, then what would you give them? You now have to look at your chart. According to the present time, what register does a master creator need to look at? What mistakes you have made is the register of childhood. However, what chart should a master creator check now? While keeping every power in front of you, check your chart as to which power out of all the powers you accumulated today and to what percentage. Now check your chart in the account of accumulation. You have to apply a full stop to the expenditure. Will you even now continue to spend for the self? To give to others is not expenditure. This is like giving one and attaining 100,000. That is not counted in the account of expenditure, but in the account of accumulation. When you use your powers for your own obstacles, that is expenditure. When an obstacle arises, the expenditure of time spent in finishing that obstacle and the wealth of knowledge used to finish that has to be saved. Just as that government creates a savings scheme, so too the Almighty Government is also now ordering all the children to create a savings scheme. Apply a full stop to the expenditure. At present, continue to give. Is anything still remaining in terms of receiving? If it still remains, then it proves that you have not claimed the full inheritance from the Father. However, the Father has not kept anything with himself. He will give you the full inheritance in 1 second, so that nothing remains to be received. So now, will you know how to save, or is it that you have developed the habit of spending? There are many who do not know how to accumulate. They are not able to accumulate, and in fact, they develop the habit of spending more and incurring debt. Here also, when you spend all your powers, you say that such and such a Didi or Dadi or Bap Dada should give you something. You take on credit. First of all, think whose children you are. You are the children of the Master of the unlimited treasures. Do you have this intoxication? When you are the masters, and so the children of unlimited treasures, and you then take the powers and credit from others, what would you be called? Very sensible. You do not become so over clever, do you? Do you know the yuktis for saving in the saving scheme? What is the easiest and the most elevated method for saving through which you are able to save all powers? How will you create your budget? Only when you first make a budget will you then be able to check it. How can you create it so that you can automatically accumulate? To create a budget means to fix a program for every moment for your intellect, for your words, and for your actions. When you create a budget, you arrange it so that you only spend a certain amount of it, and then your expenditure is created according to that. Only then is your task accomplished successfully according to the budget. So too, create a budget means to awaken at Amrit Vela and to arrange a plan for your intellect and for what you have to do through words and for what you have to do through actions. That is, you have to create a diary for all three for every day. After making a diary for every day, you then have to check as to whether you performed your tasks according to whatever you arranged for the intellect. Or is it that the budget is one thing and the plan is something else? So the easy yukti to accumulate all your powers is to create a plan for your thoughts, words, and actions for every day. If at Amrit Vela you fix what the intellect has to remain busy in throughout the day, then all wastage would be finished. If you finish the wastage, then it becomes something powerful. In order to finish the wasteful, make your intellect a planning intellect. Only by making your intellect a planning intellect will you be able to accumulate powers, because otherwise all the powers that you use are spent wastefully. If the account of wastage is finished, you would automatically be able to save. In order to finish the wastage, write your daily diary. In this way, fix your time as to what special thoughts you are to have in your intellect for the day and what you will accomplish through your words for that day. By fixing this, your energy that is wasted by ordinary and wasteful words will be saved. Whatever you do not waste becomes the best. Look at everything and increase your saving scheme. Only then will you be able to become master creators. At present, you do not have the powers to become a master creator and to create a creation. If you cannot become a master creator, what would you have to become? If you do not know how to look after anyone, you would have to be looked after, would you not? So instead of being a master creator, you would have to become the creation. So you have to become a master creator, do you not? Simply keep the two words you were told, mela and khela, in your awareness at all times, and you will be able to create saving scheme. Then you will save the thoughts, time, and power that you use wastefully. For this, simply keep your discipline firm. You think that you will do something, but you do not keep that discipline as a daily discipline. It remains in force for 1 month, and then Maya begins to come. That is, Maya begins her task of making you unconscious. So what do you have to do for this? When you see that someone is not gaining consciousness, you give him injection after injection. Or when an operation is being performed, then so that the patient does not feel anything, an injection is given. When you feel that your force is going towards making you unconscious, that is, when you feel the force of Maya beginning, what injection will you give then? You have attention and checking anyway. However, together with that, check the discipline of taking full power from the powerhouse at Amrit Vela every day. This is the strongest injection of all. If you make the connection with the Father at Amrit Vela, then you would be saved from being made unconscious by Maya for the whole day. This injection is missing. There should be a good connection. It should not be that you just wake up and sit there. Of course, you observe the discipline of waking up and sitting there, but is your connection good? That is, do you experience having all attainments? If you take an injection but do not experience any power, then understand that the injection has not fully accomplished its task. In this way, the connection of Amrit Vela means to experience all powers and all attainments. This is the strongest injection of all. First of all, check if the beginning of Amrit Vela is good. If the beginning is not good, then the middle and the end will not be good either. If you do not have the practice of experiencing anything from the beginning, then you would not be able to experience the beginning of the world, which is all the happiness of the beginning of the world cycle. This is the beginning of the whole day, and so, if you let go of this beginning, and you then awaken and sit down, or forge a connection after some time, or after a few hours, then to the extent that you are late here, so according, you would be late there. Because the first chance of appointment time for meeting Bapdada is given to the children. Then it is the time for the bhagats. If you forge a connection at the time for the bhagats, then you cannot receive the blessings that the children receive. This is why this time has a connection with that time. The most important and first item on the budget is this, Amrit Vela, that is, the beginning. At that time, check whether you are going to come in the beginning or after a few births. The hours here are equivalent to the births there. To the extent that you miss the hours here, so you will miss that many births there. This is what there is a weakness in. Of course, everyone sits there. If you were to see the scene of that moment, you would enjoy yourself a great deal. The scene at that time is such that it seems like the museum of the Hatha Yogis in Jaipur. Many different types of Hatha Yoga are shown. The scene of Amrit Vela is such that some try to control their sleep with force and others pass the time in desperation. and some are hanging upside down. That is, they are not able to carry out the task for which they are sitting there. Those hatha yogis are shown standing on one leg. Some are hanging upside down, and some are in different postures. Here also, the scene at that time is like this. Some pass 1 second very well. Then if you look at them, the next second, they are standing on one foot and then the other foot falls. They think that they will accumulate something today, but they are not able to do this. This scene is worth seeing. Some even have yoga while sleeping. Just as those people sleep on thorns with force, here they sleep on the bed of snakes. The posture here of this time is also very wonderful. This is why you were told that by knowing the importance of Amrit Vela and by putting it into your practical life, you can become great. If you do not create your plans at Amrit Vela, what would you put into the practical form? A logic task is also only accomplished properly when you have a proper plan. If you do not create a plan, you cannot be successful. If you do not fix your plan in this way at Amrit Vela, you are not able to attain the success that you should from your thoughts, words, and actions. Now understand the importance of this and become great. Now you have clearly been told what effort still remains to be made. By making your Amrit Vela all right, everything else will become good. Just as you become immortal by drinking nectar, so too, by making Amrit Vela successful, you will receive the blessings of becoming immortal. Then, throughout the day, you will not be confused by any obstacles. You will be immortal and constantly remaining cheerful and constantly powerful. If you do not take the blessings that you receive at Amrit Vela of becoming immortal, then you have to labor very hard. You then have to labor hard and incur expenditure. Otherwise, by taking the blessing of being immortal, you can be saved from laboring and also the expenditure. Acha, to such souls who stay with the Father and those who celebrate a meeting through their every thought at every second, to those who are not separated by even one thought for even 1 second, to the players and the intense effort makers who constantly observe every scene while being set on their seat of remembrance. As detached observers, to those who become the embodiment within 1 second with one thought, that is, the moment they have the thought, they become the embodiment. To such intense effort-making souls who have received the blessings of being immortal, Bapdada's love, remembrances, and Namaste. Om Shanti.